Hello everyone, it's Aaron again and as you saw in the beginning of this video, you saw my Yong Heng compressor filling up my bottle here to approximately 3800 psi. I want to do a review on this. I've had this thing almost a year now, and I just want to do a review on it in terms of things I've learned about it, and just overall my feelings about it and how it served me during that year. First of all, I want to just say this. I said it then and I said it now. We're really lucky in the air gun world to have so many wonderful things that we can purchase at low prices until those of you who are starting, you can have time to see, get your feet wet at a moderate price. And if there's something you really like, then you can go ahead and expand, as we all do, and get better products. So, and one of those things, I think, and to me, this is the best compressor out there. I'll say that because of this. I bought this one for $310. I've seen them since. I think I saw one for $219 once. And for what this thing has done for me and for what it's brought to the table in terms of just refills on my tanks, where I pay $10 every time I get a refill at the scuba store, this thing is more than paid for itself already. In terms of dependability and reliability, I've had no problems with this thing since I've owned it. Now, my buddy Ken has one. In fact, I think he has one. And it went down on him because he forgot to plug the water up. And so he burnt the heads. But he told me that at AliExpress, he was able to get every part on here ordered through there. So he said it was nothing to go in and rebuild the piston and do the things he needed to do to get this thing back operational. So not only is this thing dependable, the parts are readily available for you at very cheap prices, and it's very easy to work on. This thing is not complicated at all. I've seen tanks for $1,500 spaceships in terms of all the stuff that in them. I wouldn't dare take them apart and look inside of them. This thing here, I'll take a wrench and take this thing apart in a minute, because one, it seems to be very simply put together, and secondly, I didn't pay a bunch of money for it, so I don't have that fear of messing it up. So let me go and talk about this a little bit in terms of things that I've learned about it, because I'm telling you again, I think it's the best value out there in terms of filling my gun. I'm filling this tank here probably once a week, up to about 3,800 psi. All of my guns are 32 to 35 psi, but I don't fill any of my things to the maximum, just to guarantee the life of them. You know, the carbon fiber on my impact, I don't want to fill that thing 3,500 pounds every time I do it. It's gonna age it. I fill it to about 30, probably 31, 32, and I shoot it down to till it falls off a regulator, and I pump it back up again. So again, let me just talk about this particular thing in terms of what I've learned. Okay, and these are recommendations to you too. One thing I've learned is with this, every now and then, if you start this thing under pressure or restart it under pressure, it's really going to have a hard time kicking off sometime. And I've blown a fuse, but only in terms because it was other things that are hooked to that. I didn't know, like the refrigerator and other things, and the refrigerator happened to be on, and two of those draw a lot of current, and I popped the fuse on it. So but except for that, I've not had a problem with it at all. But when you start it up, it draws a lot of power at startup, as all things do. Make sure you open these two bleed valves. Okay, let it get going and then close them, and then it'll build right up to it. But don't ever start this thing under pressure. It's just going to lead to the longevity of this thing in terms of how long it's going to be able to serve you. So start with the open valves. Okay. Another thing too, even though this thing is water cooled and it works really well, this cylinder head down here gets hot as heck. Okay. One of the things I do is I take a damp cloth, face cloth, moisten it, and I lay it over these two tubes, because these two tubes here get rather hot, especially with this one down here. Okay, I just lay it over this, and that extra moisture on there helps to keep the temperature down beyond what the pump is actually doing. So a wet rag there would be good. You know, I saw another guy. He said he put ice in the bucket to make sure that the water that is circulating around here is as cold as possible. Now all of these little small things are going to help this thing to last longer, and I think that's really what it's all about. Another thing, when you finish filling up your gun with this, it's best to, as soon as you bleed it, turn it back on, disconnect it from your gun, turn it back on, close these and let it run for a few seconds. If there's any moisture at all in there, it will come out on there. Don't leave it in, just let it blow it out, because you will get a little moisture on the floor at the end. So make sure that you let this thing kind of clean itself, as I would call it, at the end. Another thing you want to do is you want to check these little filters, these little I don't know, cotton filter things that are in here, and make sure that they're clean. And I guess the last thing I want to say is that you really do need to go out and get something that's going to cut down on the moisture. And that's not the Yong Heng, that's everyone out there. There's humidity in the air, it draws it in, that becomes moisture within the system, and you need to have some kind of way of dealing with that system. So it's recommended that you come up with some kind of moisture barrier between this, your tank, and your gun, because it's going to really help you again to maintain your gun, maintain your tank, and also maintain the system that you have here. So basically, that's it for me. I just wanted to come in and tell you that this thing is still operating well. $310 well spent. I'd buy another one in a minute, and I just can't believe what this thing does for $310. When I was looking at spending $1,500 on the one I was actually looking at, and it was the Omega, and luckily this came out before I had to do that, because I was getting tired of lugging these things to have them filled. So that's it. I'm going to be coming back with a few more videos. Got a few more guns I'm going to be reviewing, and I'm excited. I just got an ATN night vision, day vision scope. I'm learning about it right now. I'm shooting it under various conditions so that I can do a video on that very soon and tell you the ups and downs of it. And I want to compare that $600 system to my $80 camera for clarity, for ease of use, and all these other things, so you can see the difference there between that. And I'm also going to compare it to my $129 Chinese night vision, which I still haven't been able to hook a recorder to. If I could do that, that would be the system of a lifetime. But we're going to talk about those things in the future, and I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in. Leave your likes, your dislikes, your comments on the bottom, and I will read them all and respond. And let me apologize for those of you who may have responded to some of my videos that are quite old. And I won't say quite, well, a year old and 6 months old. I would do that, I would review that and review that, then I'll go back and I'll look, and it won't be anything new there. But then I will scroll down and I will see something new. The new comments are not coming to the top. They're being embedded in other parts of the system. And I went through the other night and I found some from 3 months ago. And I would never wait that long to respond to anything. So if that's happening, please excuse me. I'm going to try to watch that more in the future and make sure that I get back to you in a timely manner. So again, I want to thank you, and I'll be trying to bring you some more stuff, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you. Have a good one.